Morning, everyone. It's 9 o'clock, November 16th, 2020. I'll call the McLeod County Board of Commissioners meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Again, good morning, everyone. We'll start with consideration of agenda items. Motion made by Commissioner Nagel and seconded by Commissioner Wright. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consent agenda. Motion made by Commissioner Wright and seconded by Commissioner Luthens. Any discussion on the consent agenda? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. COVID-19. Barrett. Good morning, Barrett.
Good morning, everyone. My update for today, as of yesterday, Monday, November 15th, McLeod County has had a total of 6,700 positive cases of COVID-19 since the start of the pandemic. That is an increase of 480 new cases since our last board meeting on November 1st, where Sheila, on my behalf, reported that we had 6,220 positive cases. So quite an increase. 23% of those new cases are identified as children under the age of 18, and that's the most significant population that we're seeing the positive cases reported. Of those new cases, 7 people needed to be hospitalized, 0 were admitted to the ICU, and there are currently 83 active cases that require isolation. Unfortunately, I need to report that we have had 82 COVID-19 related deaths since the start of the pandemic, which is 8 deaths in the last 2 weeks, which is a significant increase. As of November 1st, the reinfection cases are now added to the COVID-19 web data page. 7 of the cases that new cases reported are reporting from people who have been fully vaccinated. So 7 reinfection cases reported. We continue to work with the GIS department here at the county to update our COVID-19 dashboard on a weekly basis. Please check that out and refer people to that if you are interested in more statistics. As far as our vaccination efforts, we continue to hold vaccination clinics here at the McLeod County Government Center on a weekly basis. Local public health has held 68 vaccination clinics to date and administered 9,445 doses. Last week was our first clinic where we began offering vaccines to the 5 to 11-year-old population, and that was very successful. We vaccinated 30 kids that day. All those slots were filled. So we are offering Moderna, we're offering Pfizer, we're offering the 3rd shot, we're offering the booster, we're vaccinating all populations. So if you're interested in getting a vaccine with us, go to the website and please sign up. Our vaccination statistics for the county, McLeod is at 55% of people in the county receiving at least 1 dose of a COVID-19 vaccination. A new number to report is our 5+ population. We are at 58.4% having received at least 1 dose. Our 12+ population, we're at 64.7%. 16+, we're at 66.5%. And of our 65+ population, I'm happy to report we're at 90.1%. So I would call that a success. Some things that we continue to work on here at the county, like I said, we're offering both Moderna and Pfizer to all populations. We will continue to hold clinics as long as they are needed. We continue to work with schools as needed as well. And I have heard good things about the Hutchinson Armory and the testing that's going on there. Very, very quick. They're only open Thursdays and Fridays, but you go in and I think the tests come back within half an hour. So very quick. Any questions for me?
Go ahead.
Barry, you went over it, but I get some questions certainly from the population that I work with.
Yep,
The third shot is available here.
Correct.
You go to the website
Yep.
to register.
absolutely,
And you covered it, but
yes.
those are the questions that, and probably everybody else is getting to.
Yes, so it's that first it's that first group that were eligible for their vaccine. It's healthcare workers, it's emergency personnel, law enforcement, teachers. They are all eligible for their third dose, and it lays that out on the website.
Barrett, is it for anyone who works at a school setting or only teachers?
Anyone who works at a school setting.
Okay, thank you.
I have no questions. Board, do you have any? Thank you. Thank you, Barrett. Have
Thank
a
you.
great day.
Yes, you too.
County Administrator Sheila.
Hi, so for our COVID-19 update, just want to discuss a couple of things. Our Coronavirus Relief Fund Committee continues to work on the areas of focus for the dollars that were received at the county, around $7 million. Yesterday, we met with our cities and townships for the people who have told us they're interested in learning more about broadband for those who are on those township boards and the city councils and are considering using those dollars for that or want to learn more about it. That's what we've been trying to learn more about, so we understand if that ends up being an area that we recommend to the board, what does that all entail? What would a project look like? So we aren't making a recommendation on that right now, but we're exploring it. So we've continued to work with the cities and townships. We've continued to meet as a Coronavirus Relief Fund Committee. We met last week, which was a good meeting. And of course, right now, we are just working through understanding anything that could affect McLeod County for a vaccine mandate. And that's all I have for today.
Very good. Any questions for Sheila? All right, moving on to,
You'll have to go to number 6.
is it, yeah, we'll have to, what time is it actually?
We'll have to go to number
7.
6 and come back.
Public Works, John. Morning.
Morning, John.
2 items for you. One is to consider purchase of a Towmaster T12DT trailer from RDO Equipment out of Dayton, Minnesota. That's at a state contract price of $8,173.50. This trailer will replace a 2004 QuipNet brand trailer that we have. It's got a lot of rust on it, some wiring issues, brakes, and that's the main trailer we use for patching and so forth, so we'd like to get that replaced.
Mr. Chair, move to approve request.
Motion made by Commissioner Smalls to purchase the Towmaster T12D, is that right? Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Luthens. Any more discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And then item B would be to sell that 2004 used QuipNet trailer on MinBid.
Not that it pertains to anything right now, but it's just a good time to put it in. Our sale, and you can go ahead and use MinBid as far as I'm concerned, but Fahey Sales has changed now. They're not Fahey Sales anymore, and they are handing a lot of equipment. And I brought some information from you. I'll give it to you later.
Sure.
To in order to get the best prices we can for some of this, but they're covering almost half the United States on equipment, so it's just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, we've looked at them in the past, and the MinBid had lower fees, but we can certainly revisit it.
Sure. It's a new company now, so.
Sure, we'll take a look at that. Well, do you want to amend the motion to say either one?
Yeah, I would like that. You can
Yeah.
look at it, and I have no preference.
Sure.
But it's just it's still a part of a local company. So if we can, fine.
That's fine with me, yeah.
Mr. Chair, I'd move to sell the 2004 trailer on MidBid or whatever Fahey Sales is called now.
Jeff Martin. All right, motion's been made by Commissioner Nagel to approve the sale of the 2004 trailer to either MidBid or Jeff Martin. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Smalls. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, thank you.
I got it. Can you just give us a quick update on Morningside?
Morningside, we're meeting out there this afternoon with a contractor. From what I understand, it's real close to getting open. There's some signs that remain. There was lighting they were putting up yesterday. It's looking like this week from what I see.
Okay, because
Soon as-
just my feedback is, I mean, you know, whatever, we have to get certain things done, but what, you know, the sooner the better. The bus
Right.
drivers, the schools are really biting at the bit because they'll save their routes and,
Yep, I understand. So as soon as we know for sure, we'll certainly get a news release out and let people know.
and I had a couple of calls on the workshop coming up next, was Thursday. Is the public able to come to that, or is that that is open to?
I think it's open to the
It has to
public.
be.
I know it has to be, but I mean, do we encourage it, or?
It's open.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, that's
that'll
all
be-
I have.
Okay,
John, if you want to.
thanks.
I've got another one. Thank you.
So they're getting pretty tight in their road trip then, if they're gonna ride with us.
I don't believe the calls I had do not want to ride. They just have some questions for John on a couple of roads is all.
So is it where they, or sorry, Commissioner Nagle, is it where they can ride with us or can they call?
If all five, Mike can correct me if I'm wrong, but if all five, in fact, 3 of us are together, they've got to be able to come with, correct?
Well, that's true, and.
And that's fine.
But you can have them follow along, and you can't talk about any business while you're in the van.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
If it's small enough number, have them come with me,
Right.
but if you get 30 people, you obviously aren't gonna have
We'll just have to stop and talk about it.
Just an FYI, it was just very nice calls. Just they wanted an explanation on, a little bit on asphalt versus concrete again, and I'm not an expert on answering them questions. I know there's concrete's come a long way, and I think that, you know, just in a small time frame, you can probably answer them questions, and maybe they will not show. But I did get a couple of calls.
That's good.
From townships, actually. All right, we have, we're not quite ready. So we can go to Kevin, Emergency Management. Good morning,
Morning.
Kevin.
Here you briefly this morning to ask for your approval and permission to apply for a courthouse security grant through the state of Minnesota, the Department of the Judicial Branch. This is a competitive grant statewide. There's $500,000 available. And what we are asking for McLeod County is we're going to replace some cameras that we have inside and outside the courthouse. We have some old, outdated cameras that are really tough resolution to see with the type of lenses that are there. So we would replace a total of 9 cameras. We'd install 4 new exterior cameras that we don't have camera coverage today, especially on the north side of the courthouse. These cameras would be monitored probably by our court security screening team there just inside the courthouse. Plus, we'd also install a button to lock our exterior courthouse doors in an emergency. If there's a threat inside, they could lock those doors temporarily and go take care of that threat inside the building, or if there are threats outside the building, we could immediately lock the doors, keep that building safe from keeping any kind of potential threats coming inside. So the application was kind of a tight timeline. We did meet as a committee, our security team committee last week. We got the application together. We have quotes together. Our budget committee did take a look at it last week and approved the application as well as our 50% match that we have. So the total grant amount that we're looking at is $29,822. So our $15,000 local match would be $14,911 based on the quotes that we determined. The grant application is due again this week. We'll get it in. It's actually due November 22nd. In January of 22, Chief Justice Gilday will complete the final approval of the awards and notify the recipients. And then March 22, we'd get our grant agreements signed and the awards announced to us. So we're getting it in now, but we won't probably be able to start the grant till after March of 2022.
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
Thanks, Kevin, for bringing up the tight timeline. The budget committee did meet about it, and Sheila, feel free to expand on this if you choose, but what was, I don't know, interesting or what came out of that meeting was these things were going to be done anyway, so now we can just capitalize on these grant dollars to help, pay for it. So I would move to approve.
Motion made by Commissioner Nagel to apply for the grant funds. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Luthens. Any discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
and Kevin, if we are not successful with the grant application, do we just come back and start over with the process, or how would that work in that scenario?
Yeah, there's a couple different options. They could fully fund us for our total amount that we wanted. They can come back, give us partial funding, or they could totally say no to that. So I think that's depending on which scenario we have, I think we'd have to look at that and then adjust our budgets accordingly if we choose to do those projects. So.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I appreciate the transparency. Everybody, the budget committee, and everybody seems to know what we're doing, so we're good to go and see what happens.
Yep, that's right.
Any more discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Have a good day. I guess we can go back to our public hearing on Sheila, so I'll take a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Nagel. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Luthens. Any discussion? All in favor of opening the public hearing, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Go ahead, Sheila.
Thank you. Item A, consider approval of the 2022 McLeod County fee schedule. This public hearing was advertised in the McLeod County Chronicle on October 27, November 3rd, and November 10th, 2021. The board reviewed the changes requested by departments at their November 2nd workshop. The 2022 fee schedule, once approved, goes into effect January 1, 2022.
Sheila, did you have any correspondence from the public at all on, as far as emails or anything?
No.
Is there anyone here from the public that wants to speak to the fee schedules? So, Mr. Young, of the process, we can just go ahead and approve them, is that correct? Okay. Okay, with that, I would accept a motion to approve the 2022 McLeod County fee schedule. Motion made by Commissioner Wright. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Luthens. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 22 fee schedule is set.
Move to close the hearing.
Motion made by Commissioner Nagel to close the public hearing. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Wright. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing is now closed. Move on to number 8. Is the,
We can present, Kevin's here if there's a question, otherwise.
all right.
Unless you want to go ahead to Connie's item, and then we'll come back to it in case
We can
Chief
do that
Deputy
as well.
Ward
Yep.
arrives. Is that okay, Connie? Oh. Go ahead, Connie.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, Board. Today I'm here for one item, to have you consider the approval of conducting our future tax forfeited land sale by public surplus. So previous tax forfeited land sale auctions have been conducted on site by the County Auditor Treasurer as per Minnesota Statute 282.01. Statute has been revised and now allows for real estate brokers and online sales. I've seen a presentation by Public Surplus, who is an online sales organization designed specifically for public agencies such as ourselves. Public Surplus has been used by 6 Minnesota counties for online auctions, including Beltrami, Kennebec, Kitson, Lake, Mille Lacs, and St. Louis. Public Surplus assures compliance with state and local regulations and policies while simplifying internal sales processes. It is a possibility that a large number of community members could be attracted to an online sale. There are no fees to the selling government agency, and the buyer's premium fee is 5%. Public Surplus prides itself in its customer service and for that reason does not require a contractual commitment. Questions of me or comments?
Any questions for Connie?
Again, they're all blending together. I believe it was a budget committee meeting where we discussed this. And, it's the way of the future. So go ahead.
I just want to say I'm familiar with this format of selling. Preferably for the northern counties, I've used it. It's easy. You do your, get ready before the auction, obviously, but it's easy and it's well done, and I think you'll get a broad, we'll get a bigger access to people that are interested in buying, so.
Move to approve.
Motion made by Commissioner Nagel to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Smalls. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Connie. Have a great day.
You too.
Morning, Tim.
Here for a couple of things. The first one is to consider approving $34,766 from this year's capital account into next year's. The vehicle that we had approved by the board in June, we couldn't order until September and won't be delivered until well into 2022. So in talking with Colleen, she said we needed board approval to be able to move money from this year's budget into next year's budget.
Move to approve request.
Motion made by Commissioner Schmaltz to approve the request. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Luthens. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
The second request is to consider approval of ordering one 2022 Dodge Durango from Dodge Burnville for a price of $32,438, which is state bid. That money will come out of the emergency management budget, and his vehicle will get transitioned to the jail for a transport vehicle to replace when that was totaled by a car deer accident.
Move to approve.
Motion made by Commissioner Nagel to approve the request. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Luthens. Any discussion? The only thing I have is it kind of, when I looked at it, it looked a little bit high or whatever, but I went through it, and it looks all proper to me, so that's all.
That's just the price of the vehicles these
I know.
days.
I was gonna, so, real quick, is you're seeing that too through the state bid?
Correct. Yep. Whether it's Ford or anything is going up.
Yeah. Probably still cheaper to use one.
Yeah. Deer fences too, maybe. Any more discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Third item is similar. Consider approval to purchase 4 2022 Dodge Durangos from Dodge Burnsville for a total cost of $139,064 via the state bid. That's a price of $34,766 per vehicle. And according to Dodge, it's about 28 weeks out for delivery. That's why it'd be out of the 2022 budget.
Move to approve.
Motion made by Commissioner Wright to approve. Is there a second? I'll second it. Is there any discussion? Same comment as I had before. I looked through them. I mean, it always sounds a little shocking, and it's the number of vehicles, but it seems to be what we need. And
Correct.
Any more discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And then the last item would be consider approval to auction 3 2017 Ford SUVs and 1 2017 Dodge Durango through Fahey Auctions. These vehicles all have roughly 140 to 160,000 miles on them.
Move to approve.
Motion made by Commissioner Nagel to approve the sale.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Luthens.
Actually, it's not Fahey anymore. What's the name of the?
Jeff Martin.
Oh, I didn't even know it
You
sold.
should get a deal in the mail, being you've used it. If not, John, share that. I got 2 in the mail, but they're and I've watched this. It's my hobby to watch this stuff, and they do as good a job as anybody. And they really got big. They really got big now. They're international, plus they cover half the U.S. on this type of equipment.
Sounds good.
Any more discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Matt, you're up. Morning, Matt.
Good morning. I'm here to consider approval of a quote from Converge One of Bloomington, Minnesota for a state contract price of $57,492.55 for network infrastructure equipment for the county's Hutchinson locations with funds from the 2021 information technology budget. The current network infrastructure equipment at the county's Hutchinson locations is approximately 7 years old and is no longer supported by the manufacturer. This equipment is showing signs of age and is typically expected to last 5 to 7 years. A second quote was received from Exigent Solutions of Minneapolis, Minnesota for a little more than $70,000.
Mr. Chair?
Go ahead.
And Matt, maybe you can help me with this. I noticed, quite a difference in the two quotes. Why is there such a large difference, you believe, in the two quotes?
I'm not entirely sure, unless the manufacturer offered preferred pricing to the first vendor that processed the quote request. That's the only reason I can think of.
Kind of the same question, different way, though. How you're satisfied with the equipment that you have the low bid on?
Yes. It's the same equipment from both
Sure.
companies.
Move to approve the quote from Converge One.
Motion made by Commissioner Wright to approve the low quote from, which one is this here now?
Converge One.
Converge One. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Nagel. Any more discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Mr. Young.
I have two items this morning. The first is to consider approval of a joint powers agreement with the state of Minnesota. It's a master joint powers agreement and allows the sheriff, my office, and court services to all access with to interact with the state of Minnesota and the BCA. It's paid for out of the sheriff's budget. It's about $600 a year. It's a part of their budget.
Mr. Chair, move to approve request.
Motion made by Commissioner Smalls to approve 21 CB 35. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Luthens. Any more discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
The second item is the easement for the city of Glencoe and their proposed 23rd Street. And what we're doing is setting out what their roadway easement is going to be on the property that we are selling. That's the old North Office complex. And if you recall, their easement is going to go from, it's along our southeast corner of the property, and then it is going to be south of our property from about 150 to 200 feet in. So by doing this, we are solving their problem of having to acquire the easement in the future, and we're also giving our potential buyer, our buyer actually, the certainty of where that roadway is going to go. So we would recommend that you approve this. We have had this at a workshop prior. Thank you.
And am I right, Mr. Young, that also aligns with the road, or across, it sets the alignment for the city?
Well, it does to the east, and then it jogs as it goes west, it jogs to the south to get off of our property.
Move to approve.
Motion made by Commissioner Nagel. Is there a second? I'll second it. Is any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. County Administration. Review of calendars. Darrell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We'll go back to the 9th. This is on a Tuesday. We had public hearings on the county ditches 8, 10, 36, and 37. They were all approved. On the 10th, CHB held at the building in Hutchinson, Mark Teletsky's building. He owns it.
Just ask him.
Then the 11th was Veterans Day. And that was it, Mr. Chair.
Paul, go ahead.
Okay, start after our last board meeting workshop and also a hearing on JD8. On the 5th, we had a budget meeting. On the 8th, we had our meeting of our McLeod County Economic Development Committee. Then went to the 9th, we had department head, and as Commissioner Luthen's indicated, ditch meetings with number 8, 10, 36, and 37. They were all redetermination hearings and all approved. 12th, the budget meeting this weekend. I attended the 4-H County Awards Banquet and installed our new county officer team. Yesterday, we had a meeting with the extension folks, Commissioner from Wright County, Commissioner from Meeker County, in development of the new horticulture specialist position. That'll be a position opening up hopefully within the next couple months. So getting some interviews for that. That's it. Thank you.
All right, I was kind of gone, not kind of gone, I was up at the cabin deer hunting. Took my wife out for a great deer hunt, so.
That was your honeymoon?
That was my honeymoon for the last year, it would be, yes, it was one of the mandated ones. Anyway, after our last meeting, we had that hearing on JD8, attended that, and a workshop. Which was about all I really did. I was pretty much gone this last week. I did by Zoom attend our agenda meetings. I attended our department head and I had several calls that I did take and kept up with what was going on with Morningside and a few other issues, drainage, etc. in the county. So that's all I had. Go ahead, Joe.
After last board meeting, the workshop, was able to jump on a public safety NACO phone call for a little bit. A couple budget meetings that those items came up and were addressed here at the meeting today. Economic development, sat in on that. We talked about ditches 8, 10, 36, and 37. I did stop in for the Veterans Day program at the high school in Hutchinson. And that's about it.
Nathan.
Yeah, good morning. And like the rest of us, county board and workshop on the 2nd. And then I had a light week that week, so that gets me to last week then, Monday the 8th. I had a meeting at the Hats facility in Hutchinson where county attorney and county engineer and myself discussed a upcoming mediation involving the county. Then on the 9th, as was previously reported, we had ditch hearings here of ditch 8, 10, 36, and 37 at the Government Center. Wednesday the 10th, we had CHB at the Hutch facility. And that's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Sheila, just a second before you go on, I just want to, I did forget, just before this meeting, we did have the tax, Commissioner Schmaltz and myself sat in on the tax forfeiture hearing, so just wanted to make sure that we're the two that somebody's got something to talk to, we're the ones that approved it, so I brought it forward. Thank you.
Good, thank you.
Sheila?
Thank you. Item A, consider approval of amended commercial lease agreement with Hennick Business Holdings, LLC, and County of McLeod to lease 2 large storage structures and surrounding property located on property ID 22.011.2350, Section 11, Township 115, as part of the legal description listed in County of McLeod, State of Minnesota. A commercial lease agreement with Hennick Business Holdings, LLC, was previously approved by you, the board, on November 2nd, 2021. However, the updated lease agreement before the board contains the addition of Section 7 utilities, tenant, being us, shall be responsible for the payment of utilities as defined. Tenant is responsible for payment of 40% of the monthly water, sewer, and electricity. Tenant will be responsible for the metered monthly expense for natural gas for each leased shed, snow removal, gravel, land maintenance, and garbage service for the portion of the property in use by tenant.
So basically, all we're doing is reapproving with the proper legal description, is that correct?
Correct, which we already expected this part.
Sure.
The landlord must just not have reviewed it when they signed it. So this is not an unexpected expense.
With that, I'll make the motion to reapprove this with the proper land description.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Wright. Is there any more discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item B, consider approval of a purchase and sale contract of real property between McLeod County and the Overland Group LLC for real property with PIDs 22.060.4695, 22.060.5130, and 22.060.5140, which of course is the property on Chandler Avenue and Highway 22 across the street from the McLeod County Government Center that you already reviewed with our county attorney. The purchase price listed in the contract is for $310,000 with $1,000 earnest money and a 180-day inspection period. Do you have any comments? Okay. There's nothing new or unexpected. Again, it's just making sure the correct legal description is involved and spelling out the purchase price, earnest money, and the inspection period.
With that, I'll accept the motion.
So moved.
Motion's made by Commissioner Nagel to approve this legal description in the sale of this property. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Luthens. Any more discussion? I obviously voted nay last time. I will vote for this because it's a correction, and I'm fine with that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Item C, notification of board workshop to discuss the highway workshop and road tour being held on November 18, 2021 at 9:00 a.m. at the Hutchinson Area Transportation Services Facility at 1400 Adams Street, Hutchinson, Minnesota. Item D, notification of special meeting to discuss condemnation matters to be held on November 23, 2021 at 11:00 a.m. here at the McLeod County Government Center, 520 Chandler Avenue North, Glencoe, Minnesota. Thank you.
And on that last item, it will be to discuss the Vorlachek, McLeod, Pashusta, and Selchow parcels.
That's all you have, Sheila?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Is there anything else that the board has that needs to come before the board for the good of the county? Hearing none, open forum. Anyone who wish to address the board? Seeing none, press relations. Don't see any press. So I'll look for a motion to recess for our next county board meeting to be held November 23rd, 2021 at 11 a.m. at the McLeod County Government Center, 520 Chandler Avenue North, Glencoe, Minnesota.
Move to recess.
Motion made to recess. Is there by Commissioner Smalls? Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Luthens. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Meeting is recessed.